Here with some data which has eastings and northings as its coordinates, which is basically x and y in the UK. And we want some latitude and longitude. So here's the same data cleaned up. What we want to give the, we want to give our little online tool is these two, oops, all of them maybe, all of these. So let's copy that, and I've already done it here. We don't need that. Let's paste it into a new sheet. Now, obviously pasting and then adjusting and putting back in. You're going to want to do some spot checks to make sure that everything's worked. Now, this little reference here for radar is a little peculiar looking, and I know that it has caused problems in the past. So for now, we will fix it so it doesn't cause a problem, but really either leave that to one side or double check what exactly is going on with this reference. So that's radar. Otherwise, here are our coordinates. So we can download this, and this is where I ran into trouble earlier. All the coordinates have to conform to the formats given here. So if we look at this, we see that what they want, if we're giving them eastings and northings, here we are, is like this. So not actually what you'd see in a CSV with one comma and then the other, but actually one space and then the other. So what we can try is downloading it not as a CSV, but as a TSV, which will separate them not actually just by spaces, but by tabs. So we now have this, and if we want to look inside it, it looks like that. So this may work. It's a lot closer to what they're expecting than something separated by commas. So if we go back to the online tool and we say, take this TSV file and proceed, it now tells us, and it will tell us at this point if there's been a problem. So when I try this as a CSV, 0 were successfully converted. So this looks like it's worked. Download the results. And so now we have our results here. Batch transformation, something. So at this point we can import these. Where are they? Batch transformation. Let's see what we get. And there we are. So let's just call it transformed. And we no longer need to keep the eastings and northings by themselves. Okay, so here are our transformed points. And if you look at a map of Cardiff and you right click somewhere here, it'll give you the latitude and longitude 51.47 minus 3.17. And so we should have a rough idea of what we're expecting to see. Now they've given us results. They've given us the original, which is really useful because it'll let us double check we haven't made any mistakes. So let's put in original coordinates. It's giving us this, right, which is the same idea, except 5128. It's not quite what we're looking for. Okay, that looks like what we want. There we go, 51.477 minus 3.19. They also give us this, which we don't need, and I don't know what the third value is. And then we've got some other things. They've transformed it into eastings and northings, national grid. Okay. So this is us because it says decimal degrees, right? That's what we're using for latitude and longitude. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of these two. So you can see that the first one is degrees, minutes, and seconds. The other one is a thing called degrees. Basically, the same thing as latitude and longitude, but in a slightly different shape. So now we have two columns. We have the original and we have latitude, longitude. Now the problem here is that they're in one column, but if we select the column, we can go to a thing called data and then split text to columns, and it will probably guess that we want to split. If you see how it was laid out, everything's separated by a comma. So we'd like it in 3 columns, please. So data, split text to columns, and boom, it bounces them out across the 3 columns. We'll delete this third one, which is an extra option. And now we have the originals, the latitude and the longitude. So we can now go to our data, put in some, we right click, put in some columns, or we can put our extra stuff and then copy that and put it in here. And so this is why these original coordinates column is really nice, because it will let us double check that we haven't done anything terribly foolish. These are still, you can see that what they converted lines up with what we gave. Okay, so we don't need that, so we can hide it, but it's nice that it's there. Otherwise, there we go. So the point is, really, we've got 51.4959, and we've got minus 3.222. So if we were to take these, for example, and put them into Google, comma, and then the longitude, comma, it should tell us where that is. There we go. So that looks like what we need. And after that, I think I'll go through the next bit, even though I think this you've already done. So download. Oh, do we want everything here? Let's have everything. It doesn't matter how much we have. What's crucial is that we now have a latitude and a longitude, so we can map all of this. Download as a CSV. This is called 2021 Data Cardiff D. That's how we'll know it. And then we can go to Google My Maps. You can say create a new map. And I think with this now, I'm telling you what you already know. But now it has a latitude and longitude that it can recognize. It knows where to put them, and we'll give it needs a name to put on it. Let's give it site name. Okay, now they're all in. Okay, and what you can do is you can select by column. So for example, the site type is something that I think there's 2 different kinds of sites, right? There's things that are, where is it? Yes, things that are roadside and things that are curbside and things that are urban background and things that are missing. So for example, if we had something, no, not site name, site type, and okay, and then they each get different colors. You might want to change the base map here so that you can change the colors and different things. So I've gone a step ahead here, but All those data points are now attached to each of the locations, and I've taken one column which was site type and I've colored them accordingly. But you could put a column in that said something like above 40 or above 30, or you could say everything below 30, everything from 30 to 40, and everything above 40, and then you'd be able to adjust the colors for those. Anyway, that lets you do a bit of exploratory visualization. Okay, that is it. Okay, where is this now?